I didn't expect to see Carlos Newton, the legendary MMA fighter, UFC fighter, at the MMA World Expo, but you never know what's going to happen here. Carlos, how are you today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great. Yeah.
And Carlos, I do want to talk about that great Matt Hughes fight, but I want to find out what's going on right now. I know you have a gym in Toronto. What's going on with you these days?
Yeah, well, staying busy. Planning to open another gym shortly, and still studying. Just always been doing that, and just raising the family, looking after the kids. That's all. Yeah, growing up.
Are you studying medicine, I think, or
No,
that's
no.
your wife, I think?
Yeah, that's actually a friend of mine. She's an ENT surgeon, but definitely at one point considered doing medicine, but just continued competing in mixed martial arts, and also, took what I learned into other fields that I currently I'm doing business in, and you know, for the most part, I'm really just trying to enjoy, watch my kids grow up, and spend as much time as I can with them, and you know, uh, eventually I'll probably go back and study something else, right? So, I hope to pick up some Kali. I like to go back and get in the gym, start learning Kali and knife fighting and so forth, and get back into the traveling thing
Yes.
and stay busy. So, but I'm working very hard on getting the sport properly regulated, right? So, I'm working hard
In Canada?
all over the world where it's supposed to be, but mostly my own backyard. Canada and U.S. Those are the two markets that matter most to me. One because they are my backyard, and the U.K. I'm a British citizen, and so I'm the first Canadian and British and British citizen to win a UFC title. So just want to see things done right and make this sport a stronger and better sport for the next generation.
Cool. And you've had so many great fights, and for some reason, you so kind of dropped out of the scene for a while. Um, you say you want to still fight?
Oh yeah, took a break since 2009 was my last fight, and I had a baby boy about a year ago. So
Congratulations.
yeah, thanks. So it's a matter of priorities. So obviously I'm not retired from fighting, but when the time is right, I'll be in there.
You fought a lot of big guys, like Dan Henderson. Do you feel you fought out of a higher weight class that you should be fighting at a lower weight class? What weight class will you compete in now?
Oh, the weight class I would compete in now probably would be 185. And who knows? Maybe there'll be a new weight class created in the meantime. I don't know. The sport is really up in the air, because of the way it's structured, and you just gotta take one day at a time. So who knows?
Would you say your most memorable fight was the one against Matt Hughes?
Um, I've actually, I really, really, really do like all my fights just as much as the next. And I know fans all have their favorite fight, but for me, each fight means the same. And they're all just equally important to me. Each one of them was a growing and learning experience, and a moment of sheer living. So I cherish them all equally.
All the fights were great, but any favorite fights, like style versus style or something?
No, that's like ask me who's my favorite kid. Yeah. I can't do that. I really do. I guess I can pick out certain aspects of each fight that I can say this is my favorite moment about this fight and so forth and so forth, right? Like countering Dan Henderson's double leg takedown, my favorite moment in that fight. Uh, you know, um, or watching him do ground and pound and just getting up and shaking it off. Awesome moment for me in that fight. My fight with Pele, taking the knee in the chin. Yeah, that's by far the most superb moment in that fight. So
That was amazing. How did you take that?
I have no idea. It's a box of cornflakes, man. That's it. And yeah, it's just sheer will. That's how you do that.
And you're in New York. You gonna visit your buddy Henzo?
Yeah, I actually was with Enzo last weekend, so I see his ass all the time. He's like a great, 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 great friend of mine, and yeah, I'm sure we'll be hanging out some more. Yeah.
The sport's great. You have so many great memories and friends in the sport.
Yeah, even fighting with Renzo, that was a great time. Seeing Renzo trying to knee bar me, that was quite a moment in that fight. And also just at the end, knowing that I just fought a really good friend of mine, and we really fought our hearts out. I really felt a lot of peace and happiness after that fight, and that's one of my great moments for that fight too. And just being in Japan made it just 10 times, better.
But it looked to me like it was a friendly fight. Like you guys weren't trying to. I'm talking about the last time you fought. That was the IFL, right?
Oh yeah,
That was like a friendly fight. You guys were not trying to hurt each other.
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe a little. Maybe a little.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but that fight was that fight, and that time was that time, and me and him, we were, at different levels of competition in our lives at that point. So the fight is what it was, and again, it was a great fight, and Renzo's a great competitor, and he's a guy who has done a tremendous amount for our sport, and he's continuing to do great things. So yeah, I look forward to it. Yeah.
I spoke to Dan Severin, his opinion on having like competition for guys that were in the sport way back when, and this way they can still compete. Like maybe having a match between Dan Severin and Mark Coleman, or you and, Renzo, who knows? What do you think about that kind of stuff? Having another level of competition where it's not, like guys like Dan Severin going against a 22-year-old. You know what I mean? What do you think about that? Master class. What do you think about that?
Oh, that'll be fun. I'm sure a lot of guys will enjoy that. Yeah, and it's a great way too that the younger generation can watch some of the older guys do their thing, and they'll be picking up a lot of tricks. And because even for them, seeing that experience on display is a rare treat. I know for me it is. Yeah.
I think it would be beautiful. Like back in the old days, I think George Foreman fought Larry Holmes. Yeah. Let's see, you guys fight. Maybe you go against Matt Hughes rematch.
Yeah, things like that. I think matchups like that will be a possibility in the near future as regulation comes to the sport and so forth. Right now, it'll be really tough. The way in the current market environment, but over time, as these things correct themselves, the possibilities are endless.
At the MMA World Expo, Carlos Newton, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, brother.
Hey, you're welcome.
I got to tell Avi Nardia I saw you.
Yes.
He'll be happy to see this video. I'm Bruce KiVo for MMA Confidential, and I repeat, that's the former UFC champion, Carlos Newton.